Good morning, it's Monday the 17th of April 2023, and quick recap what we've done yesterday. Yesterday we sailed up here from the Larks Channel, here across around the Isle of Islay and then into Campbelltown, and we found an anchorage just here in the south of the anchor bay. We dropped our anchor in about 12 meters of water, put 60 meters of chain out, and you can see we had a nice swinging circle over the night. We had some unexpected wind actually coming in from northwest, which was quite nerve-wracking because we got quite close to the shore here, but now the wind has turned again and is coming from the southeast as predicted. Tomorrow's plan is to go out of Campbelltown, to go around the Mull of Kintyre and to go across into Port Ellen on the island of Islay. The difficulties of that journey tomorrow is that basically here, the Mull of Kintyre, that's quite a notorious area. You see, first we have here a traffic separation scheme which we shouldn't infringe. That's because it's so narrow and the big ships are going through, so we have to keep quite close to the shore. And also if I zoom in, you see here these signs here, that means eddies and overfalls. So in certain tidal and wind conditions this can be quite nasty and even dangerous to smaller ships, so we have to take care about that. In the literature we found two tactics to go around the Mull. One is to be at the exit of Sanda Island here at about Dover -1 hour. The other one is, the local one here in Campbelltown, is to leave Campbelltown 2 hours before high water in Campbelltown. So here we see the tidal streams around the Mull of Kintyre. Here we see Dover -1, and at Dover -1 the current just starts changing here, but there's still these eddies and overfall here because we have an east going stream and a starting west going stream, which obviously interfere here. At high water Dover it's still roughly the same, so we have a stream going up here and another one coming down here, and in between here there's going to be rough water. So only at about Dover +1 we're going to have both of the streams in the same area, and that reduces massively the dangers and the overfall in this area. So that's what we try to be. High water Dover +1 is about here. That will correspond with departing Campbelltown, high water Campbelltown -2. But we can also go a little bit earlier and have some more space. So I think if we leave tomorrow between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, that will probably be spot on. We can go a bit slower, a bit faster to time it, and that's what we think we'll do tomorrow. The bottom of the seabed in Campbelltown is mud, and as you can see, our deck wash pump works perfectly fine. Nevertheless, there are 2 points to improve. First, we have to install a longer hose to be able to wash down the whole deck, and we also found that if there is a lot of seaweed around, some may get sucked in and block the pump's pre-filter. A little grit in front of the intake might help. If you haven't seen the video and are interested how we installed it, go and check it out via the link below. Good morning, it's Tuesday the 18th of April 2023. We're just left our anchorage in Campbelltown and we're out now just passing here at the island of Davar. We're going out and then turn to the west, southwest, down the Mull of Kintyre. Today it's rounding the Mull of Kintyre. Wind is easterly, about 10 knots. That should be okay, shouldn't be too bad. The weather is fair and should remain like that, so we should have a good passage. This is our first time rounding the Mull of Kintyre. It is notorious. I've done a lot of reading and the weather is good, so we should be fine. But it's always a bit a nerve-wracking thing doing something for the first time, and we shall see. There's many boats that have crossed yesterday. There's one ahead of us going around, so it shouldn't really be a problem. So we're on the way. We have now turned southeast along the Mull of Kintyre just behind us. There is a bit of a swell that has developed overnight, but it's not too bad. There's not a lot of wind. It's about 6-7 knots through, so that's not enough for us to sail. Nevertheless, we have the sails up, both of them, and we have the engine running as well. We're cruising at 6.5 to 7 knots towards the Mull of Kintyre, which is awaiting about 8-9 miles further down. Last year, when we came up to Scotland, we went into Largs first to check out our winter berth, and then before going north, we decided to take the Crinan Canal. This is a shorter route and a more scenic one, some people say, so we have made an episode about that in our last season. Check it out. And this year we thought, no, we go around the Mull of Kintyre, which is very nice as well, and which presents its own challenges but also beauties. I think the bumpy ride has started here. It's quite a confused sea at the moment. We're going to try a little bit further inside. The water is deep there, and maybe we're just too far outside and already in the races, so we go a little bit further in. We're still just at the corner to now going down to the sound of Sanda, which is down there, and we'll see whether we can get into some a little bit calmer waters inside. It's 10 minutes to 10 in the morning, and the tide is just about to change now. We also found that it's got a lot smoother now, as the tide is going with the slight swell that we have. It's much better to be in now, and that's just a couple of minutes of time. There's a fisher boat down there we've got to take care of, but we're gonna pass well to their port side. As we have noticed, or as we notice now, the tide is just changing. We see the water speed 6.7, the GPS is faster, so we're going faster over ground than through the water, which means the tide is starting pushing us. That's exactly what we wanted. So we're now being pushed through here by the tide, and what I explained is in this area here we have, in the beginning when the tide turns, we have the inshore tide that goes up here, but on the outside it still comes down here, which gives these eddies here. So by being about an hour later than when the tide turns, this should have an established stream as well, current, that comes in this direction on the outside, and these eddies should be less present. So we'll see whether that strategy works. We're gonna keep very close inshore. It's steep. We see very close inshore, it's still 30-25 meters, so there's a few shoals here, but we can go very, very close to the shore, probably 100 meters off the cliffs, and that's the plan, what we're going to do. The wind has now strengthened again to 15 knots, coming right from the back, so not a course we could sail anyway. And I prefer actually doing that on the engine just because of what comes down here. We need to keep a proper course all the time, and there will be time to hoist the sails later on. It's also very fluky, the wind. It was 4 or 5 knots just about 14 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, and now it's 15. So that's just because we're around the headland here where the wind normally starts piping up. But we keep the sails as they are. How is it, Catherine?
Gut, sehr gut. Super beeindruckt, beruhigt, dass das jetzt ist. Ich denke, Daria hat das sehr, sehr gut berechnet. Aber momentan ist es genial. Wirklich schön mit der Strömung, Wind von hinten. Gut, wir können nicht segeln, aber toll. Angenehm.
We're now in Sanda Sound. Over there is the island of Sanda, and straight ahead of us here on this side is the Mull of Kintyre, the one in the back there. The Mull of Kintyre is there. We're coming now out of the sand of Sanda. So we just passed through here. That mark is just behind us, and we're now heading towards the Mull, which is down here. You can see it over there in front of us, ahead of us, and it's about another half an hour and we should be there. We're now pushing at almost 9 knots over ground, so there's quite some tide, with about 2 knots of tide pushing us, and a wind of 17 knots, but still very much from behind, flat from behind. That's not a course we can sail, so we motor on. We're getting closer to the Mull now. It's about 15 minutes and we should be at the corner down here, and we want to be close inside, so I just make a slight change of course to the inside. Keep it nice and tight. We are now approaching the Mull. It's just the white building ahead of us. That's where basically the head is, and as you can see, wind has come up to about 14 knots. Now turned a bit, so we have put the sails out. We're almost making 11, or we're making 11 knots over ground now. 7.1 through the water. Well, that's dashing around, and the Mull presents itself like a mill pond today. So we say bye-bye to the Mull of Kintyre. We've rounded it for the first time. It was a very smooth one. Just at the very end there was some turbulences, nothing to worry about, but I can see that's probably quite fearsome in the wrong conditions. We have now set course to Islay, which is about 20 miles or so ahead of us. We're under the first reef in the main and full Genoa. We're doing 6.3 through the water, 8 over ground, perfect sailing, everything nice.
Breakfast after Mull of Kintyre.
Oh, look at that! And that's all mine. Thank you, Catherine. Quick update. We are approaching Port Ellen on the island of Islay. Just behind me, straight ahead, Catherine is already busy preparing fenders and lines. Join us next time when we explore the island of Islay and sail on to Jura.